Hi, good evening, students. We meet again. All right, teacher Ed here. So I will be continuing with English SPM Trial paper, our discussion for Negeri Sembilan with paper 2. Just now I did with paper 1, isn't it? All right. Okay, so just a reminder again. Okay, what paper 2 is about. So paper 2 is testing students on their writing skills, whereby we have 3 parts in paper 2. Part 1 will be testing students on their email writing. Part 2 is on guided writing, and part 3 is on extended, whereby students are given 3 choices of as types of essay, and students only have to choose one. So therefore, at the end of the day, for paper 2, students will be writing 3 essays altogether. And for this paper, paper 2, the full mark is 60 marks, meaning that for each part, you are given 20 marks each to as your as a maximum marks for you to be getting for your essays. Okay. All right. So without delay, let's continue. Now, the first part that we are going to look at is in part 1. So I already make some ticks there, red ticks, what you should be actually doing when you're answering for this question. Okay, so for this time of around, this one is an email received by you from your cousin Anis. So one would think about email, sometimes they will tell you whom do you supposed to be. Sometimes they will give you 2 characters straight away for that particular question. Sometimes they don't, they just give one particular character. So just be careful. So when you would reply back this email, you're supposedly to be replying to Anis. Okay. And what is Anis' request? She is going back to London next month and was thinking of buying local souvenir for a foreign friend of hers. So what can I bring back as a gift and where can I buy it? Also, I'm thinking of bringing back some local snacks too, like dodol or durian chocolate. What do you think? So basically, it's easy. Think it as it is that you are now in that your friend is in Malaysia. Don't put yourself in other people's country. You are just in our own country, local Malaysia. It's easier because you know what to give to your friends, especially the foreigners, right? Okay, so for this email, you have 3 questions, meaning that the first one, what can I bring back as a gift? You have to state the gift that you would like to bring back that you can suggest to your friend, to your cousin Anis, and you also need to inform her where can she buy the gift for the friend. Okay, and you are also to give her some suggestion, your views, whether she should bring back some local snacks like dodol or durian chocolate. If you were to say that, oh, I think you better, you can give both, is also fine. Right? Okay. All right. Now let's look at the template. Every time when you write when you're answering question for emails, students are given this template. This template. The template consists of 2, subject and content. Right? Now, for 2, advisable for you to write the email address. So because the person that you're going to reply is Anis, then write her email address here. You can just create one as long as it looks and sound like an email address. Okay, the subject is buying local souvenirs. Where do I get this subject title? You can just take it from any one of the lines here. Can be mentioned. If you do not want to use buying local souvenirs, you can also say that buying souvenirs, just cut out the word local there. Okay, how are we going to answer the question? Can I make the screen smaller? Okay, so that you can see. All right. Okay, so the question is, what can I bring back as a gift? So I always, tell my students, if you were to answer your email, don't make yourself don't make your life so complicated. You look at the email sent. this particular email it just uses hi. So you can make a choice whether to put dear Anis. Okay, you can put dear Anis or sorry. And I do it all in capital letters so that you can see clearly. Alright, dear Anis, or you can put hi Anis. If you do not want to put her name, you can just put there hi again. No problem. Right? There is no problem. So if you were to write in your second paragraph, you were to answer the email. For this particular part, students are actually advised to answer the question straight away. But if you were to ask question like, hi Anis, how are you? Okay, how are you? I hope you're fine. And it's okay. Alright. My reminder to you is that please, especially the Muslim students, please don't use Assalamualaikum, because Assalamualaikum is not an English word. Okay, so whenever you write an essay, it has to be an English word. It cannot be salutation. It's not supposedly to be uh, Assalamualaikum. That's just a reminder. Okay, now I hope, how are you? I hope you are fine. So straight away, if you were to answer her question because you want to help her out, all right. So what you can say is that straight away you answer for the previous question. Okay, like this. The first question asked was, what can I bring back as a gift? Okay, because you are going to suggest, all right. I would suggest you buy your friend a traditional traditional uh traditional game, right? Right? This is just a sample. It's just an example of the answer. Okay. The second question is, where you can buy it? All right. In Kuala Lumpur, if you were to buy all this traditional stuff, you can just go to the what is the name of the place? I cannot remember actually. You can buy at um what was the name? Cannot remember. I already forgot it. You can buy it. You can make the batu seremban yourself because I'm there and I can teach you more. You can also go to the art market somewhere in Kuala Lumpur. No problem. And the third question was, I'm thinking of bringing back some local snacks too, like dodo or durian chocolate. What do you think? So if you feel that it is a good idea to bring back both, then just agree with both the things that your cousin wanted to buy. Okay. Um, so that you buy. Then I feel that it would be good that you um, that you bring both local snacks back home because not everyone ever eaten and you don't have to blabber so much. You can just close the discussion. Alright, so what do you expect? So hope to hear. Um, I hope that I have helped you with my suggestion. Very simple. You don't have to be so complicated. Because sometimes, students feel that, oh, they need to write very long. Remember, email should not be long. So at the end here, if you were to write your initial, you just write your name. For me, I just write my name. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's fine because when you send an email to someone, usually we know who actually sends us email. Okay, very simple. We have already answered the question here by a traditional beef at Batu Seremban. I already given you the suggestion. Then they both Alright. The first part is that what would be the gift suitable for your friend? Okay, then I give example. I give my answer, the Batu Seremban. And then the second question was, where can I buy it? I did not give the place where you can buy it, but I can teach you how. How what? How to make. Okay, how to make it. First, you can sew it, isn't it? Because for those who like to play Batu Seremban, you know that Batu Seremban can actually be sold. Then I feel that it will be good that you bring both the local snacks back. Let's keep in mind. So if you were to ask me, teacher, is my answer correct? Yes, it is correct because it is answering all the three questions in the curriculum. Okay, all right, good. Now let's look at the second part. The second part of the question is about, this is what we call as guided writing. The good thing about guided writing is that they give you a situation whereby students can actually use the situation later when they want to prepare for the introduction, or they can also use the situation as their conclusion in their ending paragraph or in their early part of the paragraphs. So here, students, the class is talking about the importance of self-care. So what do you mean by self-care? Self-care means take care of yourself in the forms of doing exercise, how you eat, um, what else? Like your daily activities, your eating lifestyle, your the way the way you put yourself in a diet regime. Those are taken care of. Those are the things that is meant by self care. You take care of yourself, right? So there are three things that you need to include in your essay, which is a few examples of self care, how you take care of yourself, and why self care is important. Now, the things that I usually teach my students is that if you were to give examples, just set yourself the maximum is 3, not more than that. Okay? And then how you take care of yourself, usually I will ask my students to give 3 as well. They can do 1, they can do 2, it's up to you. But if you do 1, then your essay will be a little bit shorter. 2 and 3 is quite reasonable. The same goes if the same goes with why self-care is important. So we put ourselves in a position of with our everyday routine habits of eating and so forth. Is it important that we take care of ourselves? It is, isn't it? All right. Okay, let's look at how are we going to go about this. Okay. Now this is my this is what I call as my brainstorming box, my brainstorming method. Okay, can I make my slide smaller now? Okay. Now, if I were to give examples of self-care, if I would take care of myself, so what should I do? So I can say that I would like to exercise. Exercise what? Okay. Alright. I would also say that I would have to be strict with my diet. Okay, strict with my diet, meaning I don't take sugar, I don't take a lot of sugar, I don't take a lot of salt. Okay, another one is to have enough sleep. These are the things that I would definitely want to do if I were to take care of myself, right? Students would do the same thing as well. You would have the same idea as mine. But if you were to have other ideas, it's up to you. This is just a sample. It's just an example, yeah? Okay. How do you take care of yourself? So I'm going to use back this examples of self-care for me to elaborate more. So if I were to exercise daily, okay, if I were to exercise daily, now I'm going to expand my idea by saying that how many times a week? Probably 3 times a week. What kind of exercises that I would do? I would go jogging, probably I go hiking, or probably I go cycling. Then, now, if I were to exercise daily, it helps to what? And all these activities will help to make me sweat. Okay, everyone knows that sweating cleanses your body. And because you sweat, you will drink more water, right? Okay. For the next one, I will be strict with my diet. Now, when I say that I will be strict with my diet, I would take less what? Take less sugar and salt. I too might eat less fast food. If I were to explain later why do I need less, why do I eat less fast food? Because it contains a lot of preservatives. I would take less sugar and salt because I do not want to become obese, for example. Okay. And my third way of how do I take care of myself is by getting have enough sleep. So enough sleep, how many hours? 8 hours. Sleep on time. What else? I have to make sure that when I go to sleep, my area, my room will be in a very comfortable room. I will make sure that I am mentally prepared when I want to go to bed. So you can see that, you know, whatever that I did, whatever that I have given in my example, I use it back on how to take care of myself. Why self-care is important? Some of the answers on top here is actually does contain the reason why do I take care of myself. So if I were to take care of myself, why? Because I want to stay healthy. Another reason I can avoid what? I can avoid any serious illnesses. Why self-care is important? Because I love myself. This is a normal answer by students. Okay. So once we have come up with this kind of brainstorming, then you can go further into planning your paragraphs. Begin your introduction by mentioning the keywords in the situation. Now, usually what I would ask my students to do is for them to just use back this situation as the introduction. Because why? In this question, okay, it is already stated the keyword self-care. You see, right? So what I will do is I will just ask my student to take back this question as the introduction. For example, your class has been discussing about the importance of self-care, right? Discussing about the importance of self-care. So what I'm going to do is when I use this sentence as my introduction, I will just change the pronoun. You will become my, okay, you will become my teacher, our teacher has asked, you will become us about, and I say about it as our homework. You understand? Alright. So when you go into your second paragraph, you answer the prompt by stating the word. So you take this second question, a few examples of self-care. That's why we're in here. Okay. Alright. And then for third paragraph, I'm going to use the second one, how you take care of yourself, as giving the list of questions on what? How you become take care of ourselves. Okay. Quite easy, isn't it? Okay. And for number 3, why self-care is important. So this one will become paragraph number 4 by stating why self-care is important. Okay. Alright. Meaning that a decision is already made there. A decision is already made by you why self-care is important. And the last one is your personal opinion. Personal opinion can be like an encouragement. You give an advice. It is up to you whether it is important for everyone to take care of themselves. So that's how you do it for this particular question. The next one is a report. Again, I already picked what is important in a report. And students, you actually have a choice. You can do anything. You can choose between a report, it can be a review, it can be an article, it can be a story. From part 3, you just have to choose one. You just have to remember that. For part 2, it is compulsory to answer that question because there's only one essay. For part 3, you have 3, so you just choose one. Okay? Alright. Now, for part 3, the first question's choice of question is a report. So a report here is about the teachers starting out a YouTube channel to help the weak students. So they want to know what people need to improve their English. So I think as a student, you know what you want to do, what you want to have your teacher's YouTube channel. So you are supposed to give some ideas. Okay, alright. And then the context that the things that you need to have in your answer should be content you prefer, meaning that you're going to give suggestions, You also have to explain why people watch YouTube. There must be a reason why you are online, why you like social media, for example. It's quite similar. The answer is a little bit similar. And you also have to suggest some ways to make the channel more interesting. What is it? It can be in the form of color, it can be in the form of technology. Do you want to have music inside? This is up to your own creativity. Yeah. Okay. So for this, this is how template. This is how the format of a report should be written. So everything is on your left hand side. You can see now. If you were to write the report to your principal, therefore, just write the principal's post here on top here, not the principal's name. Look back at the question here. Whom are you supposed to write the report to? Does it mention? Yes. You have been asked to write a report for your teachers. So if the report is for your teachers, therefore here it can be the name of your class teacher, it can be your teacher advisor, it is up to you. No more principal, just change. Okay, just change. But this is just an example. The title would be what pupils need to improve English. Where do I get the title from? So the title is from the question itself. And then the date. Whether you have the date or not, it doesn't matter. But for me, I just put a date here because sometimes some students will be asking, they read books, they read reference books, some reference books, they do put a date. So I just put a date there as, so that you don't feel that, oh, I must do this, I must do this. But for me, whether you have a date or not, it doesn't matter. Okay, it will not penalize your marks. And at the end of your report, there should be this last signage, reported by or written by your signature and then your name bracket. That's all. Okay. But you have to remember, I think in my first explanation earlier, I've already mentioned that there is no marks provided for format. The important part when you write a report is that it has to sound at the report. So report has to be very direct to the point. You cannot have too many examples. Try to reduce examples, more on content. Okay. So what I did this time, I'm still using the brainstorming box. Okay. Because why when you do it like this, it's your mind will be a little bit more clearer, and then you know what to write inside. Okay, can I make my screen smaller? Okay, because I need to scribble, okay, so that you can see clearer. Okay, content you prefer to watch. If I were a student, what kind of content I would like to watch? I like to watch videos. I like to watch clips. Sometimes you like to watch music video. You like to watch like the dramas. Sometimes you want some quizzes. It depends. It depends. So at least when you were to write later in your report, you have some content or ideas that you want to write already. So you are not going to be moving around and start to think of what to do. So you plan. This is how you plan. Why people watch YouTube? Interesting. YouTube, it's quite entertaining. Okay, it's entertaining. And people watch YouTube because it probably you can see that user friendly. User friendly here means that you can make comments. And sometimes you get replies. That's what you want. It's a two-way interaction. Okay, suggest ways to make the channel more interesting. This is a channel that your teachers are going to set up. So what ways can you actually suggest to the teachers? So you can say that make it colorful. You can also say that include in what interactive activities. Okay. And number 3, probably say that you could like make comments. Students can contribute contribute their their work to the channel. Okay, or they can contribute some ideas. Okay, those are the things. So if you look at these words that I'm using for this particular answer, this is all related to YouTube. Okay, something which is online, colorful, interesting. So this is what we call as thematic thematic vocabulary is very important because thematic vocabulary actually among the things that students should know when they were to write essays, especially because some words, the words has to be related to one another. So when you are talking about improving English, these are the things that is related to improving, and at the same time also related to the YouTube channel that the teachers are planning to have. Right? Okay, now let's go to the second question. Now the second question is about review. Okay, review. I think for the past few videos that I did, there are quite a number of reviews. There are reviews about interesting drama series. There are reviews about interesting, television series and so forth. So reviews can be in many ways. Can be reviews about places, people, books, for example. So for this time of around, the review is about a favorite mall. So I think everyone has their own favorite mall where they like to go the most. Okay, and then you have to explain why you like the mall. When you talk about explain why you like the mall, you're talking about the facilities, you're talking about the services, you're talking about variety of shops that you can go there, things that you can buy. You're talking about prices, if the price is reasonable or not. Okay, that's why you have to explain. That's why it is your favorite, and then you should recommend them all to your friends. So you see that, do you strongly recommend it? Do you, why don't you recommend it? It can be either ways, it can be negative and positive. If you were to not to recommend the mall, not recommending could be in some parts of the mall that actually is not up to what of your liking. Okay, all right. Okay, now, so when you do a review, you have to remember that for this particular extended writing, students are supposedly to write 200 to 250 words. 200 to 250 words means you are writing like almost 2 pages, 2 pages of your essay, page 1 and page 2. Alright? Identify the style. This is a review. Review is something that when we go places, we are actually promoting, or at least, or if the place is not to our liking, we are recommending them not to. So you are actually influencing people. You are just like an influencer. Okay. And for this question, you have to identify the audience. So the audience here, we are talking about the viewers. Viewers because they are reading it from the website. So viewers will be reviewing, they review. So if they read the review is good, therefore they will go. Okay, and then the tense that you'll be using would be both present and past. So when you are recommending, you are using present tense and you're also using future tense. When you are describing, you are using past tense. Alright, remember that, yeah? Okay, now the way that you do, the way how you write your review is quite similar to how you write your guided writing. So again, I always mention, I always teach this to my students also. Brainstorming is the thing that you really have to do. Now, paragraph 1 is the introduction. Introduction means the general idea. The general idea is that you have to, first of all, you have to give a general idea of why teenagers like you like going to a mall. Do teenagers have their own favorite mall? So what kind of favorite mall do teenagers go for example? That would be a general review. Okay. So when it goes into paragraph number 2, you begin to answer question number 1. Question 1 is referring to this. Do you have a favorite mall? That's the first question. So if you see that you do have a favorite mall, then you have to explain the name. You have to give the name of the mall, the location of the mall, a little bit description of the mall. Is it a 3-story building? Is it a big building? Um, the mall consists of how many other malls? Okay, and is it easy to go? Is it reachable? Is it easy to go to the place? By what and so forth. Okay. Now, for paragraph number 3, you are answering question number 2. Now, here the question number 2 is to explain why you like about the mall. Now, the first part is just give a general view of that particular mall that of your favorite. When it comes to explaining why you like the mall, you might be talking about specific shops in the mall that you like going, and that is why you like, and that is why it is your favorite mall. If you were to ask me, what is my favorite mall? My favorite mall is One Utama. Why do I like to go to One Utama? Because One Utama has many shops that I can go and shop to. It also has a cinema that I can go to. They have a lot of cafes that I like to go to. I can find food that I can hardly find in my own housing area, for example. You see, so when you explain, you will give a lot of descriptions. Okay, then question number 3, that one will be answering for your paragraph 4. You're answering question number 3. What would you recommend the mall to your friends? So if I were to say yes, I would strongly agree that all my friends should go to One Utama because of what. So I might take some of my explanation for the reasons why I like the mall and put it in my recommendation. Okay, and the last one, my personal opinion. So my personal opinion could be a little bit of repetition of question 3 and a little bit of repetition from my general idea of the topic itself. And I would probably suggest if the mall to be upgraded more, what would they have? They could have a bigger, I would like to suggest they would provide more parking lots for the customers so that there will not be any problems in parking cars for some users, for example. Okay, all right. And the last one, this is a story. Story. So I bet that out there so many of you like to write stories. So for this time of around, the story for Negeri Sembilan has chosen the story to be ended with, I realized that it was impossible to understand him. So if the word here is quite strong, it was impossible to understand him. There might be some conflicts of a relationship. Can be anything, can be between humans, animal and humans. It depends on how you go about with the story. Okay. So I just would like to remind you that again 2 rubrics are given. The first one is a description of a person. Definitely this is not an animal. Therefore, you have to write about someone. Okay. And a description means you have to be very specific by using descriptive words. So this is the part where students are being tested in how you learn to accept the person. See, I realized that it was impossible to understand him. It is impossible to understand him, but even though it is impossible to do so, at the end of the day, you learn how to accept the person as he is, as she is. Okay, so the feeling could be very personal. It could be sad, it could be happy, and it teaches you your life lesson. So therefore, probably you say you learn to accept the person, and you try not to be like that particular person, or it teaches you to become more patient with accepting others, and you have to accept those who come by to us as who they are. For example, okay, right? I think those for those who like to write stories, they have a better idea of how to go about with it. Yeah. Okay. So I think that is all for today. Thank you so much for bearing with me. I hope that we will have more sessions later. I have two more states that I will be covering with you. Okay, so be patient. Take care, stay safe. Okay, see you soon. Goodbye.